As we reported earlier, allegations of sexual misconduct are sending shockwaves through the National Women's Soccer League. Former players Sinead Farrelly and Mona Shim accused their former coach, his name is Paul Riley, of sexual harassment and coercion. In just one example, Farley says the coach coerced her into having sex with him in a team hotel room. They also say that Riley sent them both unsolicited, explicit photos of himself. Now, Paul Riley denies all the accusations against him. Shim filed an official complaint with her team's management. This was back in 2015. Riley's contract was not renewed, but he was hired by another team just 5 months later, so he was still able to coach. Since the allegations have been made public, Riley has been fired from his job with the North Carolina Courage, and the U.S. Soccer announced it suspended his license to coach anywhere. We spoke to Shim and Farley earlier about their experience. It's so hard to understand why this was allowed to continue for so long. Why do you think it has taken this long, and why was it allowed to go on for this long?
So, big picture, our institution failed us. The system, right? It's the people in power, not just the coach who abused us, but the leadership team that enabled him and allowed him to go coach elsewhere. So I think it was just a total lack of leadership and accountability, and they didn't care.
That's the important point you made, though, just there. In 2015, you were told it was investigated, he was let go. He was let go. But then months later, a short time later, he got another job coaching. What did you think when you saw that?
I was devastated. The first thing, of course, is concern for other players that he will coach. And that's been, to me, the most concerning thing since this happened to me, is who's next. But ultimately, I just felt failed and silenced, and like nobody was looking out for us. I felt unsafe.
You know, Sinead, based on what I'm reading and hearing, Coach Riley did seem to be a master manipulator. Can you speak to that?
I was filled with fear every single day because I felt under the control of his manipulation, and the lack of safety just makes it really difficult to show up and do my job and be who I am as a person. So it really, really affected me.
Coach Riley has denied the allegations against him. He said he has never forced anyone to do anything inappropriate sexually or otherwise. He says that he didn't have anything to do with encouraging players to drink. What do you say to that?
I just know that that statement alone can be discounted by dozens, if not more, players. And I know my own truth, and that's all I can speak to.
You say that after an encounter in a hotel room, he said, "We will take this to our graves."
That is something that has replayed in my mind for 10 years, and that I was truly convinced I was going to do and follow and take this to my grave.
Mona, I'm sure it's no surprise to you that he is denying the allegations. What more needs to be done, and how prevalent is it?
It's extremely prevalent, and I want to say that he's a liar, and that's what these men do. The truth comes out about their behavior, and they lie to try and cover it up, and it's so upsetting to know that they just continue to do this.
Sinead, you said that he changed you as a player and as a person. What do you mean?
Soccer for me was my safe space in my world, and something that I had such an innocent, pure love for since I was a little girl, and that was taken from me. So it was just difficult to show up on the field after that and have confidence in myself. And I used to be so free when I played, and I didn't feel like that anymore. And that directly seeped into who I was as a person, the way that I saw myself. I didn't know at the time why I couldn't show up the way that I wanted to, and why soccer couldn't be what it used to. And I turned this anger and rage that I had towards him, that I didn't feel validated at the time to feel towards him, and I put it on myself.
Yeah, Sinead, what would it help in your healing? Because talking about it, I know, doesn't make it go away. It doesn't erase the memories. What would help in your healing, and what do you think needs to be done?
to disclose the story and not feel so stuck in this secret and have to hold on to this anymore is liberating in itself.
Mana?
Yeah. And just the number of times that we have to hear this story and talk about it. We shouldn't have to do this over and over and over again. But until they put the policies in place, until they take real action, I'm telling you, these apologies are empty to me. So in my opinion, every single person who was a part of this, who was a part of covering this up, who knew, they need to step down. At the very least, be suspended by the league.
For women who are sitting here listening to you both this morning, what is your message to them today?
Be brave. Yeah, of course we support you, but also we're working hard to prevent this from happening. We want an environment, a safe working environment for professional soccer players, college soccer players, youth soccer players that is free of harassment and sexual anything, right? And that's our goal, and we're trying our best, and thanks to you and others who are allowing us to speak on this.
Now, the league is vowing to, in their words, undertake a significant systemic and cultural transformation to regain the trust of players and the fans. Those initiatives include an executive board led by 3 current players, a reopening of the 2015 investigation into Paul Riley, and an independent review of the anti-harassment policies at all levels of the organization. And, you know, when Mana and Sinead hear that, they just think, blah, blah, blah. What are you really going to do?
Right.
Put out a statement and say, you know, this isn't who we are. We don't tolerate that. She said something very interesting to me, guys. Mana, she said, it's so hard and interesting to hold heartbreak and outrage in the same space. And they've just simply had it. They've just simply, they're tired of the stories. They're tired of this happening. And they said, listen, if somebody had done something in 2015, and they believe more women will come forward now that others have spoken up. If somebody had paid attention in 2015, maybe it wouldn't be happening the way it is. They believe it's still happening.
Even if the league does everything it said it would, what's so agonizing is nothing's going to change the past. Sinead is going to always have that experience and those memories of soccer, and Mana as well.
But we can't change the future, that's for sure.
That's for sure.